Hi, I'm Anique Schachner from Hardts Flowers, and you're joining me at the Long Island Museum in the Educational Studio. And today we are going to teach you how to make an arrangement for Mother's Day or for any occasion really. The key to this is to not cut anyone's prize-winning begonias. So always check with an adult before you do any snipping in your garden. And please make sure you know your poisonous plants from your safe plants if you're harvesting your own flowers. So today I have some garden flowers and some flowers that you would find in a florist. And we're going to bring them all together and we are going to make 3 different size arrangements. So really everything can be done at home with something that you would have. So we have a mason jar, a standard cylinder vase, and a gathering vase. This is going to be your best friend because you can just add and it will be pretty and drapey and you're good to go. So we have some lilac, some hydrangea, some anemone, some little carnations, and some helleborus, just some fun assortment of things for you. Now, you can use a clipper, or as a florist, I use a knife. I will show you both techniques, but I recommend novices go with the clipper. The knife is more something that a professional would teach you how to use, and maybe something that you can take more classes in the future to really gain comfortability with. So, to start, you want to green your vases. Now you can use greens from your garden. I brought some ivy. And sometimes you get things and what am I going to do with this? So what I always say is you have to edit. So, do you need this big thing going on? No. You do not want anything in water. So you take your stems in your hand and you just peel the leaves off. I like to wear gloves. Ooh. I like to wear gloves because some things are sprayed and you don't want to touch anything. I happen to be allergic to everything. So wearing gloves is just an extra layer of protection for me. So you want to just start putting your stems into the water. And you're going to want to crisscross. The crisscross is going to help things stay in place. So we'll use some leather leaf as well. And again, you edit. You can use the scraps. You can make flower crowns. The world is your oyster. So you want to just keep crisscrossing and make sure none of those leaves are touching the water. I use my knife because you never have to put things down. I can work with it, but I have many years of training. So I'll be going back and forth just to make sure to show you comfortability. But I am able to maneuver very quickly with my knife, and my own mother goes ballistic when she sees me working. So happy Mother's Day, Mom. I'll use a clipper. So you want to just get that crisscross going. Oh, and this is fun because these are rhododendrons and I didn't pick the nice ones off the tree. Again, happy Mother's Day, Mom. I picked the ones that kind of were browning and maybe weren't looking so great to begin with. So I'm going to take off the browning leaves and the leaves with holes in them. I'm going to edit. And these buds will open. So you want to give that a good trim. And so until they open, you're kind of enjoying the greens. And then once they do open, they'll be like a beautiful fuchsia and it'll be lovely. So you just want to establish a base for when you put your flowers in. I also trimmed a piece of burning bush. This is also really fun in the fall because it starts turning like reds and oranges. So all of these, you can then trim that in the fall and have a whole different vibe. So I like different colors, different textures. I think it just adds to it. So now that we have our greens and our texture, we're going to add the hydrangea. And what's fun about hydrangeas, they really pack a lot of punch. Now, if you're getting them fresh from your garden, you're going to maybe want to condition them a little bit in nice cold water. These have already been conditioned. If you're with an adult or someone who is more advanced, you want to give a hydrangea a nice long cut. Now, if you are unable to do that, you can take your clippers and you want to give it a nice good angle, and then you want to cut up and split your stem. See how it's kind of split there? So you can even cut again and make like 4/4 so that it really drinks. Another trick for hydrangea as well as lilac is smashing your stems. So you can use like a little light hammer, or you can take your clippers, shut them, put them gently on the table and just give it a little smash. And that will allow the flower to drink. Also, a fun little trick. If your hydrangeas start to look really sad, just soak them in water, in cold water overnight, all the way, all the petals. They're one of the few flowers that absorb water into their petals, which also means they let water out from their petals, which is why they're prone to go. So, you can leave your leaves on, or you can just gently edit them. And now that you have that crisscross going in, they should stay where you want them to be. I'll do another sample for you so that you can see what it is that I was doing the first time around. A cut. And this will make it a little bit more challenging to get it into the water just because you're dealing with all of these little pieces getting caught, but it will help your hydrangea drink. So let's add a few anemone. And again, you want to crisscross, snip, and crisscross. And we want it to look nice all the way around, so you want it to have a sort of free vibe. That's what we're going with for this one. Okay? And if you crisscross the stems properly, you can even adjust your flowers and they stay at different heights. Like these aren't necessarily touching the bottom of the vase, but they're still staying where you put them because they're holding on to each other. So you have flexibility when you're working with them. A friend of mine recently told me that carnations were one of the flowers originally associated with Mother's Day, so I figured I'd bring some little guys and just pop those in. And this isn't about making something that's fit for a wedding. It's something that you can do together and enjoy and get a feel for, and maybe it will inspire you to make other things and to have fun and just go outside, gather some flowers. I love carnations. These are called Antigua, and they're really pretty. So we're just gonna pop these in. And when you're working with flowers, you usually wanna follow the rule of 3, which in a lot of artworks, they follow that as well. But this is for fun, and this is for us, so there are no rules. So we're gonna call this one done. I think we should just make a big ol' hydrangea poof and only use hydrangea, no greens. So this one, maybe we'll keep a little bit on our hydrangea just so that they're more full, and you can make a knife cut, or you can use your clippers. And for this, we'll just do the single clip, but you know the rules now. And again, you want to crisscross your stems. Let me grab some more hydrangea. And then clip. Clip. And place. I think that needs one more. So that's 5 hydrangea and kapowie. You have an adorable little gift for mom, for grandma, for your favorite basketball coach, for anyone who's important to you. Now, this one is going to be a cutie. I think we should stick to some small fun things for this one. I picked some mint because mint grows like a weed. Nobody notices when it's gone. So I got some mint. I also got some of the rabbit's ear that's growing. I'll give it a fresh little cut. And the mint smells so fragrant that when you touch it, it just explodes with flavor or smell or all that good stuff. You could almost taste it. Now, we're just going to continue to fill this up. Oh, here's some peppermint that I got as well. Again, it grows like a weed, and I edit just by holding onto the stem and pulling the leaves off. It's that simple. So we have this little foundation going. Then we have, we'll grab some of that rhododendron, and we'll just peel it back a little bit so we don't have any of the brown leaves or too many of them. I'm going to leave a few just because. So this one's going to be very heavy on the greens. But this one we'll make with things that you really can get just from your own garden, because all of this came from my garden. So we are going to go, oh, the hellebores. Now some people's are like in full bloom right now and still looking gorgeous. Mine are already on the little sad route, but they're one of my favorite flowers. So I plucked them from the little bush and I brought them in. And let's get a hellebores leaf because those are fun. They're kind of wonky and look like something out of Land Before Time a little bit. I just aged myself. Another group of hellebores. They also have what I like to call bell-headedness, where they just sort of want to be happy and We have lilac. Who doesn't love lilac? So sweet, so delicious, comes in purple. Now this you're going to want to edit because these leaves you can already tell are getting sad. So in terms of science, the water is going to want to go to these leaves to give them a fresher upper. We want the flowers to stay nice. So we're gonna cut the leaves. You could then use them in your arrangement if you'd like. Now this one is very important. You want to take the stem and you want to give it a little smash. Nothing major, just to start kind of peeling back the bark a little bit because otherwise they just won't drink properly. We're just gonna droop that in there. We'll take some of the leaves that we snipped off and those will start rehydrating once they're touching the water again. And sometimes the stems might seem like, oh, this one's small, this one should be able to drink with just a good cut. I would still recommend giving it a little bit of that hammer. And just let the flowers tell you where they want to be. I used to have a coworker who said the flowers talked to him. And he would just put them where they wanted to be. So when they kind of droop like that, keep them along the edges. Why not? And then we will use our last hydrangea. And we will just find it a happy place to be. And now this is pretty, but it could be prettier. So we are going to take all of our lilac and we're going to cluster it to give it a slightly more modern look. And so then, because we did that, we'll also take our hellebores and we'll do the same here. Now you kind of have a little bit of a funky arrangement. And slightly balanced, slightly fun. These are just to enjoy and to give to somebody that you love. I hope you enjoyed learning about flowers with me today. And go out there, have some fun, explore your own yard, just enjoy the whole process and be safe while doing it. And happy Mother's Day.